What are you doing, Skiddles? Skiddles? Skiddles! Doc Ron Schwab just left. He called real briefly here earlier and said, hey, that they had one of the Michigan State University students there, training, for veterinarian school to be a DVM. And often, many veterinarians have, don't go in the bathroom, come on, Skiddles. Students that'll go into the clinics with the doctors and work in the field with them, they were headed out on an equine call, horses, and then off to a bovine cattle call, and asked if they could pop in and see Mayko the bobcat, as many of the students and or veterinarians may never get the opportunity to work with wildlife, even though they do have a wildlife area at MSU, which is where we thought we'd have to take Mayko when his stomach went through the diaphragm up into his chest cavity. You go, Skiddles, you go. At any rate, they came out and seen Mayko and the puppies, and they were here just to see Mayko, but of course the puppies are in the backyard, and played with them a bit, and the vet student got to get in with Mayko, and they've seen Skiddles, and as you can see, Skiddles was outside playing, and they've seen Skiddles all along, and a couple things Doc Ron said. Doc has been a vet 40 years, and his son graduated state as well, and has now been in the clinic 10 years plus, and old school, new school, I've talked about it before, but love Doc Ron. And, my husband, we looked it up the other day wondering about dwarfism, and never seen it, never heard of it in canines, but looked it up, and some of the things with Skiddles, we thought maybe. And Doc, I asked him, what do you think? Now he's, it's been weeks since he's seen him, and he's getting older, and first thing he said, perhaps dwarfism. Skiddles might be a dwarf. And that's fine. There was one other thing he said, and I have to look it up. Something cellulose. What it is would have been pressure on the brain. And he said with dwarfism, you see typically more bone, the bones being malformed, although we're not seeing that as much with him. And that's what we read when we looked it up. My husband's the one that said it, and we looked it up online. But some of the things, they said bulging eyes, different things, and we're not seeing that with Skiddles yet, but he is young, and balance issues, of course. However, Skiddles! Skiddles! He's normal in every other way, and great, if that's it. If he had a little pressure on the brain, you know what? He's climbing. It's not seemed to have affected his psychological part in regards, if there was pressure on the brain, I would think that we would see that more. With dwarfism, there is no mental issues. It's just physical. No different with people. And if that's all it is, great. We've got a little itty bitty King Shepherd, and we'll love him, and we do just the same. And I mean, I've taken such a loving to this dog, and I'm, the pressure on the brain thing, would have affected him a little more mentally, and I don't know that that's the case. You can't climb the wall, silly, and you're not going to the bathroom. I'm bringing you out here. Green beans in right now. I'm letting the puppies, they're having, yes, Skiddles. We'll get you a little more one-on-one time with Mama. Can Skiddles jump in there? Green bean? There's Green bean. So anyways, Doc came out again with one of the students from Michigan State University to see Mayko today. Just a quick visit, just unprofessional, just a visit. Everyone that comes to his practice for, hands-on with the vets, he always brings them here. See the difference in size? Skiddles to Green bean. Again, today's Friday, Labor Day weekend. We're not going nowhere, no traffic. But at any rate, I believe we have a dwarf King Shepherd. Well, I never heard of one. And we'll keep watching and keep working. And like today, he was running around the backyard like everybody else. So, you know what? If that's all that's wrong, there's nothing wrong. And I couldn't be happier. And like I said, this is the first visit in a while with the vet, so he's seen a difference and a change. He's seen him at 2 days old, and when I thought they were just chilled. And if it's just dwarfism, Green bean, stop it. I'll tell you, Skiddles is going to take off for himself. He is. He's getting at you too. He's your mama's boy. Quit walking on him. You know what? Come here, you cowabunga. What is it with you? You don't want Nikki too. Tell her, Mama. Green bean. Anyway, I wanted to just give everybody, I guess, what I would consider good news. Dwarfism, fine. Great. Then we have a normal puppy. Who's normal is normal. More abnormal would be in the fact that if he had some more special needs that would affect him to where he couldn't have a quality of life that would be humane, then a decision would have to be made. If it is nothing more than he's a little bit smaller than the rest, he's good to go. That's great news to me. And we'll keep a watch. I mean, it's not an absolute positive at this point, but if it's just dwarfism, that puts him up and above the rest. Great. And I'm always happy to have visits from the vet tech students or the vet students going to school to become a veterinarian for Michigan State University. They always bring them by to visit with the various species of animals we have here, and more so with mayko being a wildlife animal. Aranet Bay Veterinarian Services and their staff have always been there for us, went up and above, and are just a great group of veterinarians, staff, vet techs. They're outstanding, and they're always there for me, night, day, weekends, holidays. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the situation, the problem, the animal, or the question. Whether it's over the phone, it doesn't matter. They're there for us, and we very much appreciate them. You know, Michigan State University, UC Davis, that does our DNA genetic stuff, as well as Dr. Jacqueline Jacobs, our fertility specialist. But up and above on that list, again, is Aranet-based veterinarian services with their 4 veterinarians, and Doc Ron, who is the founder of that practice, and his son John, who became into practice with him about 10 plus years ago now. Old school vet, and then new school, and then along with the 2 new vets, Dr. Leon and then Dr. Meals, who was worked there for years out of school. I didn't even know she was going to school to be a veterinarian. I just knew she worked there, you know, and when she was in high school. Lay down, wee bean. And then went on to state to come back to now be one of the veterinarians there. Hi, Green Bean. So anyway, we got good news. We just might have a little dwarf. Nothing wrong with that. Hi, Green Bean. Show everybody the beautiful face of Green Bean. Green Bean's going to go join your mom Sheila in California.